Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Rachel. It is that time of the month. It is TBR jar time. We are going to be picking out my July TBR today using my lovely TBR jar. If you've never seen one of my TBR jar videos, I'm going to pick 6 prompts from my TBR jar, which most of these were suggested by you. Thank you so much if you submit a prompt. Some of them are just like so wild, so chaotic, so fun, so clever, so I'm really excited to see what prompts I pick today. I will be picking 6 prompts, and then I'm going to be picking out 6 books that correlate with those prompts, and that is how we put my TBR together. Before we get into my TBR though, we need to discuss the month of July. July feels like the final boss of fantasy, romance, new release months. So many incredible books are coming out in July, so many 5-star predictions, so many books that I've been waiting for so long. So I want to go through those really quickly. I would love to read all of these books in July. That is probably not going to happen, but let's just go through a few. There are way more books coming out in July besides the ones I'm going to talk about. These are just a few, but I'm really excited about them. So let's talk about them really quickly. Number 1, we have Thorn and Fire. That is the sequel to Iron and Embers by Helen Shorer. I am so excited for this book. Iron and Embers was great. That is the beginning of the spin-off series from the Legends of Thesmar, which is like Blood and Steel, Vows and Ruins. This is the main character of the Legends of Thesmar series. This is her sister's story, the Ashes of Thesmar series. So we have book 2 coming out. Really excited to see how that all plays out. We also have City of Smoke and Brimstone. That is book 4 in the House of Devil series. The first book being City of Gods and Monsters. I need to read book 3, which is City of Lies and Legends. So I'm probably not going to be picking up this book in July, but I would like to get to it very soon. This is an urban fantasy romance series, and it's really good, especially book 2, and I have very high hopes for books 3 and 4. We also have Rose in Chains. I feel like everyone is foaming at the mouth for this book. This is a Dramini fanfic that got picked up to be traditionally published, so the content of Rose in Chains is different than the original fanfic, which was called The Auction, which I know was like a pretty dark fanfic. This is going to be a dark fantasy romance. I'm really looking forward to it. This is actually my Patreon book club pick for the month of July, so I will be doing an exclusive reading vlog for them, and I'm really excited to read it with all of my patrons. I think it's going to be really great, and I hope it does not let me down. Another Dramini fanfic turned traditionally published is The Irresistible Urge to Fall in Love with Your Enemy. I think it was originally called Draco Malfoy and the Mortifying Ideal of Being in Love. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct. I love this cover. I did just find out that this is like a fantasy romance, like rom-com. I did not know that prior to literally yesterday. And I'm not usually the biggest fan of fantasy romance rom-coms, but I'm still going to give it a shot because this is a love story between an assassin and a healer, which I just think that's such a fun setup. So I'll see what I think, but I am lowering my expectations a little bit going into it. Another book coming out in July is Arcana Academy by Elise Kova. This is a new series by this author, and it is dark academia. It is adult, and I'm just really looking forward to it. The marketing for this book has been fantastic. I'm just really excited to read something by this author. I actually don't think I've ever picked up one of her books, but she has so many and so many series, and I hear people talking about her books all the time, so I need to finally dip my toes into her work, and I'm going to start with Arcana Academy. We also have Wrath of the Dragons, which is the sequel to Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. I am so looking forward to this. I absolutely love Fear the Flames, and the way that it left off, I just feel like Wrath of the Dragons is going to be so wonderful. I think it is going to expand the world a lot. I think we're going to get a lot more dragons. I just think it's going to be amazing, and I cannot wait to be back with Caden and Elwyn because I love them. And the final book that I have written down for the month of July is called Silver Cloak, and this is by L.K. Stephen, which is the adult pen name for Laura Stephen, who wrote Our Infinite Fates, and that is her YA pen name. So if you liked Our Infinite Fates, I would definitely pick up Silver Cloak. It is going to be an adult release by this author, but what really intrigues me about this book is the magic system. Magic is sourced from pleasure and pain, and I think that's really unique and really cool, and I'm just so excited to see what this book is all about. So those are just some of the many releases coming out in July. I think it's going to be such a good month. I cannot wait to see what we think of all of these new releases. Let's get into my TBR. I did want to say I do already have one book on my TBR, and that is The Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. My patrons and I are doing a Gods and Monsters series read along in anticipation for the 4th book in this series, which is coming out in October. So we are reading one book a month starting in July. July with the Book of Asriel, and we will be doing a live show. If you do want to join us, my Patreon is always linked down below. Really, really excited to revisit this series. I love it so, so much, and I was contemplating doing a reread anyway because this series has so many details and intricacies, and the lore is just so deep that knowing that the fourth book was coming out in October, I was like, man, I could really use a refresh. I feel like there are so many things, particularly in books 2 and 3, that are just like small little details that you really need to pay attention to. So I'm really, really looking forward to rereading this book and the other 2 books over the next few months. All right, now let's officially get into the TBR jar. My first pick for the month of July is going to be random number generator 1 through 26. Match the number to the letter of the alphabet. Pick a book that the title starts with that letter. Okay, that is very fun. Gonna need to pull up a number generator here. So just 1 second while I get that going. All right, so here I have the number generator set up. I did not select the number 3. That just was there when I typed in number generator. So I have 1 through 26. I am going to hit generate. What is it? 20. Okay, so what is the 20th letter of the alphabet? Yes, I am gonna have to go through the entire alphabet to get there. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, T. Okay, am I probably going to be picking a book that starts with the word the? Yes, I am, because there's a book that I've been absolutely dying to read, and it technically fits this prompt, so let me grab it. Okay, so the first book officially on my TBR for the month of July is going to be The Wind Weaver by Julie Johnson. I am so, so excited to read this book. I have just been hearing such glowing things about it. I've seen a lot of people who have similar taste to me giving this book 5 stars, and I think it's going to be absolutely incredible. In this book, we are following a character who is set to be executed, but she ends up getting kidnapped during her execution. And the guy who kidnapped her is a bit unhinged, as kidnappers tend to be. They set off on this adventure, and our main character doesn't really know what she's in for, but I have heard that there's elemental magic in this book, and elemental magic is my #1 favorite type of magic. I love that magic system. I think that there's just so much that you can do with it, and I'm really, really excited for The Wind Weaver. This is such a highly anticipated read for me. It's also a 5-star prediction. I really hope that this is going to be one of like the standout fantasy romances that I read this year. Okay, TBR jar prompt pick number 2. Let's see. Grab this one. Read a newly released book. Okay, so July, like I said, final boss of new releases, but I'm going to take this as a book that has already been released. It's already come out recently, and I know exactly the book that I want to read, and that is Echo Fort by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. This is the sequel to Neverkeep. It is a fantasy romance series. It does take place in the same world as the Zodiac Academy series, and Neverkeep was so amazing. It surprised me so, so much, and I have just been so, so looking forward to the sequel, especially with the way that Neverkeep ended. I am telling you, if you want genuine enemies to lovers, like true enemies to lovers, you need to pick up Neverkeep. And I assume the vibes are going to keep rolling in Echo Fort because the Twisted Sisters, they're not afraid to go there. They really aren't. They are willing to create the most intense enemy rivalry, and I just think it's going to be so good. So I've been thinking about this book. I really want to pick it up. So Echo Fort will be the second book on my TBR for July. All right, TBR jar prompt number 3 is your most recently added fantasy to your Goodreads TBR. Okay, let's see what we have here. So I have Wrath of the Dragons by Olivia Rose Darling, which does come out in July, but I checked, it comes out July 29th, and that's just like way at the end of the month, so I don't want to officially add that to my July TBR. This book, Dark Birch Academy, a twisted dark academia fantasy romance. This came out in June. The ratings, let's see what the ratings look like. Oh, okay, we have some 5 stars, some 4 stars. Witches, Dragons, Blood Magic. Okay, we're gonna add this to our TBR, and it's only 368 pages, which is fantastic. Dark Birch Academy, a twisted dark academia fantasy romance with dragons and witches. I don't really know what this book is about. The reason that I added it is because I saw people reading it. I really enjoy academy settings in fantasy romance books. So we're gonna read Dark Birch Academy and see what we think. My Kindle is going to be getting a lot of use in the month of July, which is good. I go through phases of using my Kindle all the time, and then I literally don't touch it for like 2 months, and then I'm like, no, actually that is the only way that I want to read ever. So I think July we're going to be re-entering our Kindle era, which I'm very, very excited for. Okay, TBR jar prompt number 4. Read a book with your favorite color on the cover. Okay, my favorite color is pink. My second favorite color is green. So I'm going to allow myself either option. I'm gonna shoot for pink though. I'm gonna see if any of these new releases have pink covers. Yes, okay. The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy is beautifully pink and black and white, but the pink really stands out. So we're going to officially add The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy onto my July TBR. As I said, I am a little bit nervous about it because I did learn that it was a rom-com, but I still want to read it anyway. I was still planning to read it anyway. So hopefully I like it. Hopefully the rom-com vibes are going to work for me. As I said prior, this is Enemies to Lovers. It's a duology between a healer and an assassin, and I love assassins. So I'm excited to give this a shot. All right, prompt number 5. Read an enemies to lovers fantasy romance. Basically, read whatever you want. Read your entire Kindle library. Read any of the books behind you. Close your eyes, pick a book, you'll probably fit this prompt. I actually know exactly what I'm going to pick. It is going to be a reread for me, but you guys will understand why I want to add this book to my TBR for this month. So the book that I am selecting for an enemies to lovers fantasy romance, don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but it is called A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah Janet Maas. I started my reread of ACOTAR like 2 months ago, and I am vlogging that reread, and I have not gotten back to the series because I've really been trying to stick to my TBR over the last few months, and I've really enjoyed it, but I have been thinking in the back of my mind like, oh girl, you gotta get back to your ACOTAR reread. We gotta keep going with the vlog. So I am going to hold myself accountable by officially putting this book on my TBR, and this is like the blueprint of the enemies to lovers fantasy romance. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. This is one of my favorite books of all time. It's gonna be really, really fun to vlog this. I will have a full spoilery ACOTAR vlog coming as soon as I can get it done. You guys will see that, and I'm really loving it so far. So I'm really excited to start A Court of Mist and Fury. All right, final TBR jar prompt pick for the month of July. Going to be trying to really dig down in there, get some of the ones at the bottom. Let's see what this says. Finish a series. Oh my God, okay, this is perfect. Let me grab the book that I'm going to read. The series that I will be finishing, the An Ember in the Ashes Quartet. I'm going to be reading A Sky Beyond the Storm by Sabaa Tahir. I'm ready, but I'm not ready at the same time, but I need to finish it. I don't want to delay any further. I want to finish this series while the third book is fresh in my mind. This is the end of the story, which is so crazy. I feel like it's gone by so fast. I really, really love these characters. This is a YA fantasy. There's a lot of political intrigue. There is a really, really amazing kind of subplot of a romance, multi-POV, and just like such high stakes. I can't say enough good things about the An Ember in the Ashes Quartet. And we're finally onto the final book, which is just like crazy, absolutely wild. I know I'm gonna cry. Really looking forward to that. This couldn't come at a better time. I've been thinking about this book. I actually requested the audiobook from my library in the hopes that maybe I would be able to get to this in July. So it feels like fate. We will be reading A Sky Beyond the Storm in July. All right, friends, so let's go through my official TBR for the month of July. It is a fantasy romance month. Do we expect anything different? So for Patreon, I am reading Rose in Chains, and then I'm reading the Book of Azrael. And then my just regular July TBR is A Court of Mist and Fury, A Sky Beyond the Storm, The Wind Weaver, Echo Fort, Dark Birch Academy, and then The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. It's going to be a really good month. I have very, very high hopes. I'm hoping that I have a 5-star in here somewhere other than my 2 rereads, because those are obviously 5 stars, but I am literally so excited to vlog all of these books and share all my thoughts with you all. All right, friends, so that is it. That is my July TBR. Let me know what books are you really, really looking forward to in the month of July. I feel like there's so many that I didn't get to, so I want to hear what you are looking forward to, or if you wanted to leave an emoji to let me know that you made it this far, go ahead and leave the palm tree emoji for Love Island, because other than all these fantasy romance releases that I'm really looking forward to, the other thing that is taking up my brain is Love Island, and it might be taking up yours as well. Please make sure that you are following me on all of my social media. I have my TikTok, my Instagram, and my Goodreads, and as I mentioned earlier, my Patreon is linked down below. I host reading sprints there, I post bonus videos, and we are doing our read along and our monthly book club. I really appreciate that you watched this video. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. I love you all so much, and I will catch you guys in the next one.